Welcome back to part two in this three-part series on the common mistakes that need to be avoided in the application process. Now, in our previous video, I talked about two common mistakes that pertain to the stage of shortlisting. Do watch that video if you haven't already done that. But in today's video, I'm going to continue, talking about the admission process and mistakes that students make, and also focus again on the shortlisting part. Now, a third mistake that students make that could really be the difference between you getting accepted by a university or rejected by one is to actually shortlist too few universities, or maybe being too ambitious in the way that you apply. Now, I know this seems to be a bit of a stretch, right? How do you quantify that it's too few universities? Well, I guess it all depends on whether you've applied to all universities that are top ranked, or fall outside the reach of your profile. I know it's a qualitative sort of judgment, but the smart person will actually evaluate you know his or her profile first, and also that of the program that they're applying for, and try to find a match. Now, mistake happens when you don't do this process and you end up getting rejected by a lot of universities, and that can leave you extremely dejected at the end of the process. Maybe you don't have energy to make any new applications, or don't have enough time to do so as well, right? Now, the smart way of dealing with this scenario is to avoid this scenario is to actually apply in three different tiers, right? Now, at the very top of this kind of pyramid that you can imagine is the list of dream or ambitious universities, right? The ones that you feel your profile would not really justify an admission, but you still want to take a chance at some of these Ivy League or other top ranked universities. So put them as your dream universities. Make sure that you don't have more than 2 3 universities. Ideally, I would say apply to one or two Ivy League universities, one or two in the dream list, because well, there is a slim chance. So why apply to more than two universities there, right? So keep a few universities in your dream bucket. Now, the middle bucket, what we call as the bucket of reach, right? Or the tier that seems, more or less the kind that you should be targeting. Uh, well, keep most number of universities in this bucket, right? And now I call them reach because these universities and the programs that you're applying to, they have a incoming student profile that matches your own, right? In terms of academics, in terms of GRE, GMAT, or SAT score, in terms of the kind of extracurriculars that you've done, and the kind of record that students typically have in such programs, right? Now, that if that matches, and well, I'm sure that you'll find a bunch of universities that do so, have plenty of options here, right? And finally, don't just stop at the ones that match your profile. Also have a few that you consider safe, right? Where you're comfortable clearing the GPA requirements, your GMAT score is, or SAT score is far above the bare minimum subscribed by the university, uh, and hence you feel comfortable about getting finally accepted by the uni, right? So keep at least two options in the safe list, as we call it, and try and keep a balanced short list for yourself, just because you are covering for all eventualities, the low probability of you getting into a dream university, as well as the very very high probability of you getting into a safe university, is sort of balanced by such a smart shortlist, right? Now, this is not rocket science. I'm sure if you consult a mentor, or a consultant, he's going to say the same things to you, but well, this hack will help you do this all by your own. Now, how do you create such a smart shortlist? Well, three-step process. Number one, consult rankings, maybe speak to a few seniors and friends, and put up a list of, longer list of universities, right? But to do so, you need to first start with a list of criteria, right? Now, this is a gray area, but I'm sure speaking to friends, speaking to family will help you at least fix up a few important criteria. These could include, the rank that the program or university has. Remember, rankings are also either subject wise or geography wise, right? So make sure that you choose the appropriate rank. You could also consider, the final placement record as important, the kind of tuition fee that the program charges, all of these, and any others such as, diversity, or even the availability of scholarship options as, your criteria, right? Once you have a list of criteria, use the available rankings, right? usnewsft.com or QS World rankings, and also recommendations from friends and relatives and your school counselors, and put them into, this long list of universities. Now at this stage, it's always smart to begin with a bigger list. So I'd say anywhere between 15 to 20 universities is like a good idea, right? So you start with a long list, and now the idea is, in the final step, you want to break this down. You want to accumulate as much information as you have, right, on the parameters that you selected, and you complete this sort of Excel file, right? This table that you created, where all the universities are listed, and their, performance of their correct, and their uh, their values for each of the listed parameters are compiled together in a table, and now you can start to assess and shortlist, right? And remember, this is where the three buckets come in, right? So on all the parameters, if you have a tick box, then that university deserves to get shortlisted by you. But even then, try and sort of sort it either on the basis of rank, or reverse sort it on the basis of tuition fee, but try and basically get a list of dream universities, ones that you'd like to get into, then a larger list of, schools that you would like to target, programs that you believe you should get in, and then finally a couple of safe universities where you, I mean, are fairly confident of getting in, right? So that's the smart way of doing this shortlisting process, right? Right. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at the fourth mistake that students make, right? And again, a word of caution: if you haven't looked at the first video on mistakes, we've talked about the shortlisting process a little deeper, right? And the kind of mistakes that students make. So make sure that you watch that video, and also make sure that you watch the video that I've created on how to create a smart shortlist, right? It talks about this entire process in a little more detail, so it's a good idea to give it a look, right? Now, mistake number four, right, that students commonly make is to not check the program's requirements, or the eligibility criteria as mentioned by the university or the particular department, right? Now, this is an absolute sin, right? And you'll find it laughable that, students even make this mistake, but they do. And so in your rush to sort of complete the application process or admission process, make sure that you don't make the mistake of overlooking a few of those criteria. Right? Now, where do you find the criteria, admission criteria, or the requirements that the department has? Well, most times it will be listed either on the admission pages. Remember, not on the program page, maybe on the admission pages, which are separate. Alternatively, the program website itself will have a section that's titled, admission requirements or eligibility criteria, right? And what does the eligibility criteria include? Well, look out for the kind of courses that they require in your undergraduate program, right? And they do specify, a lot of courses specify the kind of schoolwork that you should have done, subjects that you should have taken, or even specific courses that you should have taken in your undergraduate study that make you eligible, right? So make sure that you check that out. Number two, most universities have a stringent criteria on the minimum GPA that you should have scored, right? Now, top ranked universities will typically say a B plus, an average of B plus throughout your course, or at least in the last 2 years of your study, and that's a criteria that you should check out. Similarly, they also have a specification on whether you've completed a 3-year or a 4-year undergraduate degree, right? Now, obviously, this applies more to master's programs, and bachelor programs will not have such a criteria. Do make sure that you check out the SAT or the GRE requirements, right? Do they waive them off? Are these requirements optional, or are they not considered at all, right? Now, that could really be a big difference if you're looking to apply to a university. Also read the fine print, because some universities absolutely state very clearly that you cannot have any backlogs when you're applying to our program, right? And that could create a bit of a problem for some of you out there. So make sure that you check the criteria in detail. And finally, some universities, some programs also require a certification or an credential evaluation by an independent agency, something like a WES certification that might be needed. So you need to sort of know about that in advance, because these things take time, right? Registering on the WS website, to furnishing your transcripts, and giving them time to actually review and give you the certificate will take a bit of time, maybe a week or so. So you want to know about this in advance, right? So admission criteria, requirements by the university, absolutely critical. Make sure that you're meeting everything given on the department website, on the program pages, maybe check out the frequently asked questions section on the department page, or the university's website, or the admission pages, and that's where you'll find these details spelled out in very, very fine print, right? Also, it's a good idea to reiterate that taking a look at the class profile, the kind of incoming profile of incoming students, is kind of critical, right? It could give you a clearer idea of the kind of students that regularly get in, and do I fit that profile or not. Well, if you consult a mentor, all of this becomes like a cakewalk for you, because we make sure when we consult for students looking to study abroad, where we consider all of these criteria, and make a very, very take a very close look at all university requirements, right? Our services are pretty comprehensive. We can help you with every step of the admission process. Mentors Capital has a wide pool of mentors who can help you with preparing for standardized tests like the SAT, GRE, or the GMAT. We can also help you with shortlisting, creating the perfect shortlist of universities, maybe 5 to 10 universities that you would like to consider applying for, and on what basis you should make this shortlist. And finally, also help you in the final stage, whether it's writing application essays, whether it's clearing admission interviews, or maybe even submitting video assessments or other online assessments, as may be the case, right? Our students have done exceedingly well in the past, and it's all thanks to the kind of student relationships that we've nurtured, and also the eclectic pool of mentors that we have, right? Do check out our website. The link in the description gives you our website, and also gives you the possible ways of contacting us. In case you have any queries, any doubts, or need assistance with anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My name is Anand Venkateshan. I'm the founder and mentor of mentorscapital.com, and I hope that you found this video interesting and useful. Thank you. Have a great day, and wish you all the very best.